I will never forget when I arrived at my wedding, only to find no one there, not even the groom. It all began in the bustling streets of Accra. Kwame, a humble young man, was on his way to work when he first laid eyes on Amma. She was standing by a roadside stall, haggling over the price of some fresh tomatoes. Kwame was immediately captivated by her beauty and the confidence in her voice. He approached her, offering a friendly smile, and struck up a conversation. They exchanged numbers, and from that day, their lives became intertwined. Kwame and Amma's friendship grew quickly. They spent hours on the phone, talking about everything from their dreams to their struggles. Kwame worked as a mechanic, and Amma was a nurse at a local clinic. Despite their different backgrounds, they found common ground in their shared values and love for their families. The more they talked, the closer they became. Kwame finally mustered the courage to ask Amma out on a proper date. They went to a small restaurant by the beach, where they watched the sunset while enjoying fresh fish and kenki. Amma was impressed by Kwame's simplicity and sincerity, and that evening, as they walked hand in hand along the shore, they both knew something special was blossoming between them. Their relationship deepened as the months passed. Kwame introduced Amma to his family, and she did the same. Both families approved of their union, and it wasn't long before Kwame decided that Amma was the woman he wanted to spend the rest of his life with. He started saving every cedi he could, determined to give her the wedding of her dreams. Kwame's proposal was simple but heartfelt. On Amma's birthday, he took her back to the beach where they had their first date. As the sun dipped below the horizon, he knelt in the sand and presented her with a modest ring.
Amma, will you marry me?
Yes, I will marry you.
They embraced, both eager to start planning their future together. The preparations for the wedding began in earnest. Amma was busy picking out the perfect dress, while Kwame worked overtime to make sure they could afford the ceremony. Invitations were sent out, and the date was set. The excitement was palpable, and everyone in the community was looking forward to the big day. A week before the wedding, Kwame started having strange dreams. In these dreams, an old woman would appear and warn him about the wedding. She spoke in riddles, saying things like, "Not all that glitters is gold," and "Beware of what lies in the shadows." Kwame dismissed the dreams as mere nerves, but they left him feeling uneasy. Amma, too, began to feel uneasy. She couldn't explain it, but a sense of dread started creeping into her heart. She loved Kwame, but something about the wedding didn't feel right. She confided in her best friend, who assured her that it was normal to feel nervous before such a big event. Still, Amma couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The day before the wedding, everything seemed to be going smoothly. The decorations were up, the caterers were preparing the food, and the guests were beginning to arrive. Kwame and Amma spent the evening apart, as per tradition, but they exchanged loving messages throughout the night, promising each other that tomorrow would be the best day of their lives. On the morning of the wedding, Kwame woke up early, feeling excited and nervous. He got dressed in his best suit and prepared to head to the church. But as he stepped out of his house, something strange happened. He felt a sudden chill run down his spine, and before he knew it, everything went black. Amma arrived at the church, her heart pounding with excitement. But when she stepped inside, she was met with an eerie silence. The guests were there, the decorations were perfect, but Kwame was nowhere to be found. Amma's heart sank as she realized something was terribly wrong. Panic spread through the church as Kwame's absence became apparent. Amma's family and friends began searching for him, but there was no trace of the groom. His phone was off, and no one had seen him since the night before. Amma was beside herself with worry, and the guests started whispering among themselves, wondering what could have happened. Hours passed with no sign of Kwame. Just when everyone was beginning to lose hope, a young boy ran into the church, breathless and wide-eyed. He claimed to have seen Kwame wandering aimlessly near the old abandoned house on the outskirts of the village. Amma and a group of friends rushed to the location, hoping against hope that the boy was right. When they arrived at the abandoned house, they found Kwame standing in front of it, staring blankly at the old, crumbling structure. He was in a trance-like state, and no matter how much Amma called out to him, he didn't respond. It was as if he was under some kind of spell. An elderly woman from the village, known for her knowledge of the supernatural, was called to the scene. She took one look at Kwame and gasped. She revealed that the house was cursed, and that anyone who entered it was doomed to suffer a terrible fate. She explained that years ago, a wedding had taken place there, but the bride had died under mysterious circumstances. Since then, the house had been abandoned, and it was believed that the spirit of the bride still lingered, seeking to prevent other weddings from happening. Amma was devastated. She refused to believe that Kwame was lost to her forever. She begged the old woman to help break the curse, but the woman warned her that it was dangerous. Despite the risks, Amma was determined to save the man she loved, even if it meant confronting the spirit herself. Amma entered the haunted house, her heart pounding with fear. Inside, she was met with an overwhelming sense of sorrow and despair. As she moved deeper into the house, she saw the ghostly figure of the bride, weeping in a corner. Amma pleaded with the spirit to release Kwame, explaining that they were in love and deserved to be together. The spirit of the bride looked at Amma with sorrowful eyes and told her that if she truly loved Kwame, she would have to prove it by making the ultimate sacrifice. Amma was willing to do anything to save Kwame, but the spirit's request left her speechless. The spirit asked Amma to give up her own life to save Kwame, just as the bride had died for love all those years ago. Amma was torn. She couldn't imagine a world without Kwame, but she also knew that giving up her life would mean leaving him behind. She fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face, as she begged the spirit to show mercy. At that moment, Kwame, still under the spirit's influence, spoke for the first time. He told Amma that he loved her too much to let her sacrifice herself and that they should be together in this life, not the next. Moved by their love, the spirit of the bride finally relented. She released Kwame from her curse, but warned them that their love would always be tested by the forces of the supernatural. As Kwame and Amma left the haunted house, they knew that their wedding would never happen as planned. They decided to leave the village and start a new life elsewhere, far away from the cursed house and the memories of the wedding that never was. In the end, Kwame and Amma's love endured, but they learned that sometimes, the most important things in life can't be planned or predicted. They vowed to live each day to the fullest, knowing that true love is not defined by a ceremony, but by the strength to face whatever life throws their way.